at the event tell me that Eric heard on Facebook.
We are
Wait a
live.
minute. Yeah, but it's saying it wasn't live on my page. How
Uh-oh.
rude. Oh well. It's not taken on my page, so is
Oh,
what it
hang on.
is.
I
Oh,
need to
now
get
we're live.
ready.
Now we're live.
I need to
Now we're
get
live.
ready for the Jim and Stu show and the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast.
Oh,
You know how I
okay.
get ready for it?
Switch out those books, baby.
There you go.
Nice. Look at you with
Now
a set and everything.
Now our pre-show discussion is complete. We are ready to go.
Well, there you go, and that's all that matters. So, I missed you last week, Stu.
Yes. So tell me, where were you last week? What was the event?
I was at the International Maxwell Conference, IMC, John Maxwell, learning all about leadership and how to be a better person. I also spoke at the event. There were about 2,000 people there live and about 1,000 people virtually.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a nice size event, and they always put on a really nice event. We had a booth, and so we were working the booth, and we were interacting with the folks. And Dexter and I decided we were going to have some fun, so we were teaching people frameworks from content marketing scripts out there in the hallway. And I was pretty proud of myself because we sold 10 people into the software without demonstrating the software. So I was able to sell software with nothing but a flip chart.
Damn, how cool is that?
I was pretty happy. If you know, it was kind of cool. So if you want later, maybe I can demo what we did.
Well, what we will do, let's do this. We'll do a little teaser for the podcast. In about 20 minutes from now, we will do podcast 173, and is all about your lessons learned of, being at that conference, and some of the things you may have learned from listening to other speakers, as well as some of the things you learned from having a booth at a conference.
Yeah, being a worker bee as opposed to what have you. But
right.
That's a good little teaser. So what are we going to talk about during the Jim and Stu show?
I want to talk a little bit about the importance of, we hit it a couple weeks ago about communicating, right? And communicating to your customers and listening to their communications as well, because that can help you understand better what your customers need, what your avatar is actually looking for, because sometimes that changes and sometimes that ebbs and flows with, the time of the year and things like that. So you need to be well positioned to be able to handle those types of changes. So something I like to do is to answer all of my emails personally. So when you do that, you also need to have some quick answers for people, but also need to have a nice little signature at the bottom that encapsulates everything that you do, or at least the important parts of it. Right. So this one's perfecting your email signature. How important is responding to emails from customers, who are seeking advice, or maybe even your business? Think of an email as a personal advertisement for such programs. So there you go. Let's talk about it.
Is that supposed to wind me up, and now I'm supposed to take off?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'll get you on the back end of it, and show you. I'll show you my signature if you show me yours.
So why don't you show us yours real quick, and let's talk about why you do what you do, and then we'll talk about mine as well.
Okay. Let me pull up. I think I had it saved as a draft. I did. Yay.
Okay. And then tell people real quick what is an email signature file? What is an email signature?
I just find it as it's basically everything underneath your answer.
Okay.
So when somebody emails you, you say, hey, I usually have a little signature at the top that says, thanks for your email, and a space above that where I put their name.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'll put that in here. Thanks for your email.
Should we be seeing anything yet, or are
Nope,
you
I'm
still
going to
waiting
show
to
it to
pull
you.
back the curtain? Okay.
I'm going to pull back the magic curtain here in a second.
Okay.
All right. Who's ready? Are you ready?
I'm
Did I
ready.
lead up to it properly?
I think you did great. What's
Okay,
up, Sonny? What's up, Vicky?
All right. So anyway, I get a lot of emails. In fact, I'm writing an article right now with somebody's email, which I'm selling to military.com as one of my weekly articles.
Okay.
And it was just an email that that I received. Now it gave me plenty of ideas to write an article. So it has that use, when you answer emails from customers.
Okay.
But let me share this.
What's up, Anna?
Share my screen. Chrome tab. Would it be a Chrome tab here?
Pesky technology.
Well, that's my article. Trying to find it. That's all. Just
are you using two screens yet?
Oh, I found it. Yeah, I'm using two screens. So that's where I got it a little screwed up.
Okay. So here we
go.
go.
You can see this. This is just a draft email that I created for this show. And you can see
and those typical emails. If it looks kind of small, you can maximize and view this in full screen if you click the thing. There's something in the lower right that allow you to be able to see it easier.
How about that? Is
that's good?
Bigger?
Yeah. No, that's fine. You're fine. I was just telling people. Okay.
So anyway, when people send me
talk about each of the elements in there.
Yeah, when people send me an email, I get their name and I type their name in right here at the top. Then I have a little thing. Thanks for your email.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just being nice, starting, and then I have my email answer, whatever that is. That may be a paragraph. Sometimes I will go ahead and write a draft to an article in this email, and then I'll cut and paste it and put it over on Word and finish the article for military.com or for another website.
Okay.
So sometimes someone gets a really big answer. Sometimes it's as simple as me saying, hey, I've already written about this. Check out this article. And I just send them to my article that I've already answered this question a dozen times already.
Okay.
So I found that to be very useful tool. I would say probably 50% of my emails are questions that I've already answered. And if the person would have just put in the question into Google with my name in it, that article probably would have popped up. But they did not know that. But that's okay. I know that. So when someone asks me such a question, that's what I do. I go to Google, put my name in it, get the hyperlink, put it into the article.
Okay.
That's
into the email.
Into the email. It's a really fast way to do it. And then underneath that, I don't know if you can see this, follow Stu Smith on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. And those are working hyperlinks that go straight to my social media accounts.
Okay.
After that, I have my name.
Can I make one little suggestion? I know you're trying to keep this small, but
go ahead.
If you could find little icons for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube so that people would see, they'll recognize those logos and stuff too, and it will catch their attention with the little image.
Good catch. I like that. Good one. Good one. Yeah, I can do that. Definitely. I can input images into these emails as well. So easy day. Under that, I just have my name, my website. I have an article that was written about me. I was voted top 10 military fitness blog. I was actually ranked number 1 and number 3.
Because, well, we take the gold and the bronze just to annoy everyone. Let me ask you a question.
I have 2 military fitness blogs, and they're in the top 3. So that was pretty good.
Why don't you? I know you have the certified strength and conditioning coach or certified strength conditioning What is the
Specialist?
CSC? Specialist. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you have the USN seal next to that as well, like you do on all your books? Because somebody might not know that you are
like
a former Navy SEAL. Right. You should have that on there too.
Okay. All right.
Just trying to tell you your business.
No. That's good. So something like this.
Yeah.
Maybe USN.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. See what that does.
Okay.
And then underneath is just a little, what would you call this? Where candidates learn to get to and through selection, right? Stu Smith Fitness. It's just a little catchphrase, I guess.
Yeah, I like that.
And underneath, it is pretty much everything I offer. So I have the link to my blogs, swimming and podcast videos, ebooks and books that take you to that. I got an app, 2 apps on there, and then a membership site, and then online coaching. So all you got to do is like one click, boom, boom, boom. It takes you right to those pages versus it being like a drop down menu on my website.
So that's pretty good, but list of products and services is about as compelling as using ingredients as a headline for a food product.
Okay.
Why couldn't we say something like more additional resources to help you get to and through selection?
All right.
Because that's where most of your guys and girls, and
yep.
No pronouns notwithstanding. That's
okay. Cool. No, I like that. That's much better.
Yeah, I think that will do better. I like it.
So
I like that a lot.
That is my signature.
And that goes out in basically every single thing that you send out.
Yes.
Goes out in that.
Yeah. Whether it is a full answer to a question, whether it's just a link that I send to them, or somebody sends me a video and I critique it for them. I mean, everybody gets this signature.
Okay. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up one of mine. And pull this up. Get one of these here. Okay, let's do. All right.
Yeah, Carlin says, what do I do in one sentence wizard output? That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. Michael says, great talk at IMC. I appreciate that. What's up, C. Ray? Albert, what's happening? Okay, so here's an example of how we use a signature file on our emails that go out with our newsletter. Okay, so this is not last week's, but the week before. So this is our actual newsletter as opposed to the article of the week, but they're similar. All right. This is the newsletter is more of like a digest. So we have the article. Then we have a call to action in the article itself. Ask people to pass it along to a friend. That's one thing that I found never hurts to ask. Somebody might know somebody that this would help, but they don't think about it unless you tell them, hey, pass this along. Then we have the featured article. Then we have an ad. Then we have the weekly content roundup. Then we have the podcast stuff. And then this is the actual signature. So this is this is where people can, in any of our emails, they can make it to anything in our ecosphere, or I don't know. That isn't the right. I don't even know what the hell word I'm looking for, Stu. Our ecosystem. Sorry,
Yeah.
ecosystem. But like, get the book. So Copywriting Secrets, How to Publish Your Own Ebook in as little as 7 days. Get the training, Jim Edwards Met the Premium, Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. Get the software. So Easy Online Wizards, Content Marketing Scripts, Funnel Scripts, Traffic Secret Scripts, and connect with the community. Join my Facebook group. And then I've got these icons here that people who know I can follow you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. And then here's how to get the support desk. So one of the things that we do, though, is depending on the audience that we're sending to, we might have additional or different resources down here. So if I'm only sending something to Funnel Scripts and I don't want to cross-pollinate, then I might only have the, Funnel Scripts, and I might only have the Copywriting Secrets book in there. If I'm sending it out to the big list, I might have more than this. So it depends. So again, this is kind of like your silent salesperson. It's like in World War II when they released 60,000 mines into the ocean. You never know when one's going to hit an enemy ship. So it's always having that thing out there. People know, hey, what was that? Let me go back and look. And it like gives people permission not to have to remember, just to remember that it's there when they need it. So
I like that. I like the way you did the step 1, step 2, step 3. I may rearrange mine like that as well. Like step 1, get the book. Step 2, buy the membership.
Subscribe.
Step 3, do the online coaching. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then instead of having the follow Stu on social media up top, I like it down on the bottom like that. That's
right.
Like connect with the community.
And what you could also do is even have a payoff thing in there where it says serious about getting to and through selection. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. Step 4, do that. I mean, that you're linking their ability to make it to and through selection, whether it's FBI or SEAL or whatever it is, you're linking it to those steps. I think that would be a really powerful message. And I have to admit, we didn't come up with the idea of doing it this way. We modeled it off of somebody else.
No, this is good.
Susan, I'm going to bring you on real quick. I'm going to ask you a question. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, quick question. And I'm not sure, but it made me think, so I figured I'd ask. When we in the help desk, when people get responded to in the help desk, do we have some kind of a signature file in the help desk that basically hits them with all this stuff too, or similar stuff?
Yes, we have a signature file, and look, what's on it.
Just curious, because that's what I found is like Stu's hitting it. We're hitting it from all angles. If you think about it, you want to have a signature file when you respond to people individually, which I don't. I suck at that. Okay, mea culpa, mea sucka. Okay.
Do you want?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, that'd be cool.
We've worked on it before, and then we've changed some things on it, which we can always go back in and change things. All right, share.
But like Stu's got his with his personal. We do them with the broadcasts. I don't know if you can zoom in any on that, but I can tell it's pretty cool.
It's not letting me.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I mean, you can make it big. So basically, we've got company name. We've got the 2 main websites. We've got all the Facebooky stuff, and then something to view the status of the ticket. So we could probably borrow some stuff from the, but we also got to be careful that we don't. Now, is that a standard thing in there, or is that's all standard stuff under the please note?
Yes, that's instructions for helping people when they create a ticket if they get lost.
Yeah, and see, I could see if we added a whole bunch more crap that it might get lost in the spam filters and a bunch of other stuff. So you got to have that balance as well.
I mean, we can always switch. We can always add one more to here because we should add content marketing scripts.
Yeah,
right?
we should. We should add content marketing scripts and add funnel scripts too.
Right.
you know, at a minimum. Cool. All right. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Put you back in the driver's seat. So I think the big thing is that I think the big conclusion from all of this is that you should have a signature file on purpose, because you're not going to remember to do it, especially if you're doing it like Stu's doing it and you're just rapid fire. I mean, that's how I learned you could dictate into your phone. Stu's at my house over on my crappy little life cycle thing that probably I'm the 5th owner on. And he's talking. I'm like, who are you talking to? He said, I'm answering my email. What? And he's dictating into his phone. I said, holy crap, I didn't know you could do that. And but that's how you can do stuff really, really quickly and not miss out on those opportunities, because not everybody knows. How many times have people say, I didn't know you wrote a book on that. I didn't know you had software that did that. I didn't know that you had a membership. I didn't know you had coaching. I didn't know you had a blog. I didn't know, I didn't know. You don't know unless you tell them. They don't know unless you tell them like 10 times.
Yeah.
So putting it in there. And I think then the second lesson is that in the signature file, you shouldn't just give them a list of links. There should be some kind of an organization tied to benefits and payoffs so that they actually pay attention if they bother to look at it. And I think that's a critical takeaway from this discussion. So don't you think?
Hey, yeah, I do. You want to see something, what I changed while you and Susan were talking?
Yeah.
I'm just going to play around with this and see what happens. Okay. So check this out.
Okay.
So can you see this?
I can. Let me zoom in.
So if you're serious about getting to and through to selection, step 1, read the articles, watch the podcasts, swim videos, right, with links to it. Step 2, all I did is I put steps into my top 6 things.
Okay.
Step 2, use the programs and books and ebooks. Try the free Navy SEAL fitness app, which, by the way, in-app purchases. Then you have step 3.
That was such an old man comment. Like you just like, hey, we got in-app purchases because I seen that, and that's important to say. Anyway, go ahead. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's definitely an old man concept. And then step 3, you join the membership site or get personalized coaching from Stu Smith Online Coaching. Follow us on social media.
Yeah, I would switch those last 3, because you want people to sign up for the coaching and you want to downsell them to the membership. No?
Okay.
I'm just saying, but then also I see and then in my mind, it's like, okay, but a lot of these are younger kids that can't afford that. And then they see that and they wouldn't look at the next thing. So, okay.
So yeah,
I like it.
So there you go. I'm excited for this one, Jim.
Yeah, I like it.
Thanks for your suggestions.
Sure. Well, they're worth what you paid for them.
Yep.
Excellente. All right.
So anyway,
that's good, Stu.
I was just thinking, how important are your email signatures? It's just a little thing that can make a big difference. I tell you, I notice it because I recognize my emails that I send to people, and I recognize their name because I use it in the email. And the next thing I know, I see that, later in the day, they're
buying something. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Putting that cause in motion. And it's funny, one other thing that you dropped a golden nugget there, as far as just the little causes set in motion. You're answering 10, 20 emails a day. I know, I bet, at least, if not more.
Least. Yeah.
Okay. So, 5 days a week, let's say it's 500 emails let's say 200 emails a week. All right. 200 emails a week times 50 weeks is, if I'm not mistaken, 10,000. That's 10,000 causes set in motion every year. And if you had 5% of those people buy something, that's an extra 500 sales a year just by having the little guidepost in there in order for people to say, hey, I didn't know we had that. Let me do that. Plus, when you do it in that context of answering somebody's question, it induces that reciprocity. So I did something for you. Now you're going to do something for me. It's like, oh man, the dude really helped me out. Let me go see what he's got. And I mean, that's what, my stuff, I saw your free stuff, went and joined your coaching. So,
It's
I mean,
karma.
but it's a cool thing. Plus that repurposing, that was the other golden nugget. You're being real strategic with it. You said, hey, I might take the extra time to answer this person's question because I know I can while I'm answering this person's question, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm writing an article.
Yep.
And I think that's a very, very, very important. So awesome. All righty. Well, I think that was a really good Jim and Stu show. Well done, Stu.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy. So I'm excited to move on to the podcast. So 3,
Let's do it.
2, 1. Hey, hang on. I want music.
Yeah, we need transition. A little polka.
Whoa, was that a little loud? Holy crap.
That was perfect.
Oh my goodness. So, welcome everybody to the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks Podcast, episode 173.
Okay, that's really throwing off my rhythm. I was just like, what the hell's going on? I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my trusty co-host, Mr. Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu.
Hey, thank you, Jim.
And today we are going to be talking about lessons learned. And don't anybody get triggered or anything like that. But I got my bug assault. I got a fly going around in here. I got to kill. So if you hear this little fly screaming, you know that I was successful. So Stu, what are we talking about today?
Hey, you know what I have for flies? I have a electric tennis racket.
Oh, I had one of those.
Basically, it's like a tennis racket that, like, if a fly hits it, it goes. Tss.
Yeah, and then if you can trap them against one, it's like, die.
They're the best.
Hit him again. Hit him again.
They're the best.
Just saying.
Yes. So what were you asking me
today?
Sorry.
What are we talking about today besides torturing small insects?
Well, it was about your week. We missed you last week. Didn't get to do our show. And I know you were doing something this is your first time at this conference, right? Or second?
Nope. Second time speaking. It was really cool. In fact, Anna Banks, who was here with us live, did my intro, and she did an amazing job.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very cool. She did a great job. She said, I met a man with a white beard and a whiteboard. I was like, hey, that's pretty good. I like that. So, yeah, she did a tremendous job. So that was a lot of fun. And I talked about how to get more leads, make more sales, and build stronger, more profitable relationships. That was my talk. But I love going to conferences. I feel sorry for people that go to conferences and speak, but don't actually go to the conference. Like, don't sit in and listen and learn and network and stuff.
Got to.
And we had some great interaction with the folks too, because we had a booth. And last time we went, we had the booth, but it was more kind of like feeling it out and seeing what was what. And then this time we decided, my buddy Dexter and I decided that we were going to go all in with the booth. Like we were just gonna be there and interact with the folks and answer questions. And then we were even gonna try and sell the software without demonstrating the software to see if we could pull that off. And we had 10 people sign up for the software without ever even seeing it. We sat there and demoed the frameworks and stuff, and we explained how the software worked. But we didn't we didn't have the crutch of being able to demo the software. So it forced me to, use my words to be able to explain the stuff. I just laugh because we used to say that to Johnny, use your words.
Not your hands.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a great opportunity, and I learned a lot of things, and there are a couple things that really stick out to me that I learned. So it was a great experience, and the great thing about IMC is that they do it twice a year. So it'll be again in March, and so the neat thing about that is I love it every 6 months instead of every year, because after a year you kind of lose momentum, but
yeah, that's wise.
Every 6 months it's a recharge, it's a battery recharge, and you like if you had started to lose momentum, this kind of gets you back, as opposed to waiting a whole year and it feels like you're starting all over again. So
yeah, it's kind of like getting your teeth cleaned every 6 months,
right,
versus a year.
Right.
Like if you do it if you miss that one, you're it's going to take longer to clean your teeth, and it's more painful.
Yeah, and it's like the hygienist wants to punish you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, you missed
a whole year.
Seen you in a year. I'm going to have to give you extra attention. Get in there, like climbing over in there.
Yeah,
that kind of
not
thing.
Fun.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things that I learned that I want to share, and this is every once in a while you hear something that it's kind of like you've heard that phrase, you can't unsee something. Once you've seen something, you're like, man, you can't unsee that. And it's interesting because when we were Dexter and I are on the faculty for Maxwell Leadership, and that means we do a call every Monday, and there's extra stuff that we do for the mentorship folks. And so they had this really nice faculty dinner, and we were in there. It was a nice dinner, and they gave everybody this really beautiful box set of some of John Maxwell's books. I mean, it was really nice gift. And then the bigwigs got up and talked, and the one gentleman, Ray, who's in charge of what's up, Dave? You're so bad. One of the gentlemen named Ray, who's in charge of the faculty, super nice guy. He got up and was giving some words of encouragement to the faculty and bucking everybody up, because it's a lot of work. And he told a story that changed me forever. I'll never be the same. Never be the same after he told this story. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I'm going to share the story with y'all. So he told the story about how his dad was a builder. He wasn't a super, super successful big developer, but he was a journeyman builder. And he and his brothers used to laugh because he said, my mom and dad had sons, but my dad could have free labor on the job site. And his father worked really, really hard, never got rich, but made sure that his own father and his uncle were employed for their whole lives.
Nice.
And the boys, as they got older, would help out. And this is back when, trusses weren't pre-made. Everything was framed. And even back in the day, my own grandfather did this he was a builder on his job sites. Nobody came with all these ladders and stuff. You took 2x4s and you made ladders for on the job site. And the boys went to him one day and said, "Hey, Dad, you're building these ladders and the rungs are way too close together, man. We're taking them like 3 at a time and scrambling up and then running across the trusses and doing all that stuff." And he said, "Boys, I didn't build that ladder for you. I built it for your uncle." And his uncle had been injured as a kid working for his dad. He fell off the trusses, fell and rammed his shin bones through his ankle and was crippled. And he said, "I didn't build those ladders for you. I built those for your uncle so that he can get up the ladder and he can do the work." And he said, and that's what we as teachers, as faculty, as people that do whatever we do, we don't build ladders for us to climb. We build ladders for our customers to climb. And we need to make sure that we're building ladders that they can use, not just ladders that we can use. And for me, that was like, oh, snap. And then you combine that with when John Maxwell does a service on Tuesdays at the event. He's, you know, he had one of the biggest churches in the U.S. and is a spiritual leader as well. And one of the things he said was that, you know, we all, in the way the world is today, we all need to stop running people down. We need to not talk smack about people, because when you talk smack about, I'm paraphrasing, he didn't say it like that. This
Sure.
is what I heard. When you talk smack about people, you're talking smack about God, because God doesn't make junk. And when you combine that with the ladder story, it was like, that was a real wake-up call for me, because sometimes I can get a little smarty pants and I don't have the patience that I should have. And I need to remember that not everybody can do it as fast as I can. Not everybody, you know, knows what I know, and it's easy for me to do it. But that both of those things combined were like the 2x4 to the face that I needed, just to remind me to stay humble, be humble, and you know, think of other folks and what their journey is and what they have going on. So that was really good.
I think
You
so.
know?
I mean, just having those two frameworks in your head can make you a better coach.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And less of a dork. So that was a big deal. I'm trying to kill this fly. Another thing that happened that was really cool. Be proud of me. Big pat on the back for Jimbo. I did you're gonna die. Bam! Got him. Anyway,
What do you hit him with? What is this?
dude, it's a CO2 powered salt gun. So
What's it shoot?
Salt. It's called a bug assault. And you shoot the bug with it, and it you know, you find out he has blue eyes. You know, one blue that way, one blue that way. So yeah, I mean, if bug's gonna bug you, you got to take them out. Anyway, one of the things that I, over the last Susan says Mike puts rock salt in his, says it's like buckshot. Anyway, so I'm going to admit, over the last few years, I maybe became a little too dependent on PowerPoint. And, you know, because of it's easier to do over the interwebs and Zoom and stuff like that. It's easy to become dependent on PowerPoint. And, you know, over the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot more with the whiteboard and things like that. But the last time I was at IMC. I had a PowerPoint where like every single thing was on the PowerPoint. I was basically standing up in front of like 1,000 people reading my PowerPoint. And I mean, it kind of sucked. It sucked for me. I know it was boring for them. Everybody's like, still, you know, I liked your speech and God bless them for that. So this time I said, okay, why is it that I can teach an entire class? I can teach for an hour with my whiteboard and everybody's like, hey, it's amazing. And then when I go there, I'm like, feel compelled to do PowerPoint. So I did a presentation where I had a slide deck. Guess how many slides I had in that slide deck?
Nice.
Two slides in that slide deck. The first slide was the title slide, and the last slide was the call to action slide, which had a QR code to invite people to a training.
Sweet.
And the rest of the entire training I taught the same way I teach here. I had these were my notes, okay? And I didn't have this board, but I had a paper flip chart thing, you know, real analog stuff.
Yeah, that's old school.
And I taught the whole thing from that. And I felt like it went a lot better. I had more fun. I think it was more lively. And I had a lot of people come up to me afterwards and say, I just love that because we'd been getting so much PowerPoint and it was just so different that it kept my attention. So that was
Now,
another
could
lesson
people
learned.
see? Could people see, like in the back row? Could people see what you were
'cause-
writing?
Yeah, they had giant monitors. Like, I don't even know
Nice.
how big. I mean, those monitors had to have been like 12 feet,
Oh,
easy,
sweet.
if not more. I mean, they were huge, and there
Perfect.
were several of them. So, and they had real good camera peeps because you know me, man, I was all over the place, you know. So they were, you know, they stayed on me pretty well. And so when they zoomed in, you could really see the board and stuff. So
Perfect.
it was really cool and inspired me that I need to start really running with that instead of going back to too much PowerPoint. So, and you know, nobody thought it was weird when I said, "Hey, I'm just going to teach this like we teach a mentor session on Mondays." So I got my notes, I got my board. Let's do this. And you know me, I'm a smart aleck. So I said, you know, would it be okay if I treated this like a mentor session? And nobody said anything. Well, whether it's okay or not, that's what we're doing. And, you know, I started rearranging the furniture and stuff. It was cool. So Carla made an interesting comment. I'm wondering if with all the AI that's coming, if analog will be the differentiator in the future. I think that anything that flies in the face of what everybody's doing is what will stand out. So we just got to look at what everybody's doing, and the renegades are usually turned 180 degrees in a different direction. I think that's what you need to do. If everybody's doing something, you need to be it's probably you need to be doing something else. Is the best advice for that kind of thing. That's just my opinion. What do you think about that, Stu?
Yes, I do the same thing. In fact, I had this PowerPoint that I had been given, you know, the midshipman at the Naval Academy for a couple of years. And it's basically, I talk to the freshmen and sophomores and I say, if you're interested in, you know, a special ops career, here's what you need to do now in order to make that happen. Right. And I walk them through and I had PowerPoint to do it. And then lo and behold, one day, probably about a year and a half ago, I guess it was like middle of COVID, I think, but I was able to go in there and teach. The projector was down for some reason, so I had to wing it at the last second. But I've given this thing so many times, it's, you know, I've been living it for years. So I said, here's what you need to do. We're going to walk through this. And I didn't even have anything to even write on. But it all worked. Oh, no, I had a whiteboard. I had a whiteboard behind me. And
Right.
so, yeah, I just drew everything that I needed to draw. But mainly just spoke to them, you know, 1 year at a time. Here's how you do it. And then took questions for, you know, throughout the whole thing. Whereas, you know, a few times whenever I give the PowerPoint, I might have 5 minutes at the end to give questions. You know,
Right.
so this way I was able to take questions and kind of go off on a tangent a little bit, but answer that question really well, get back on focus and do it. And I had more fun, and I think the mids got more out of it as well. So I'm leaning towards that direction as well. You know, have a little bit of PowerPoint in there just as maybe a guide. You know, I'm not as bold as 2 slides, but I'd probably do like 4 or 5 slides with the big drawings that I typically waste some time on replicating with a whiteboard.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's the way I'm going. I'm going to go analog.
I heard it expressed by this MIT professor who was, you know, kind of boring, but also very insightful. And the big thing I remember taking away from his presentation is that slides are for exposing people to new ideas. Boards are for teaching.
Oh, you
So
gave me that YouTube
yeah,
video. Yeah, exactly.
and so the other thing that happened was when I knew all the stuff that I wanted to go over, but while I was interacting with the audience, I didn't see PowerPoint eliminates your ability to react on the fly. It forces you to run down a predetermined path that you determined when the audience wasn't there. But when you're using a board and you're using notes and you know what you want to get across, and you know it so well that you can actually pay attention to the audience and react to them instead of worrying about what you're going to say. What ultimately happened was I covered all the points I wanted to cover, but I ended up doing them in a completely different order, but still had a very effective presentation. And that's another thing that I learned. I mean, these are the main things I want to get across. I know what my purpose here, I know is what I want to get across to y'all. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask questions if possible. I couldn't at this. Plus, I was limited to 30 minutes. That was funny. I told the executive vice president, you gave me 30 minutes, but I took 33. He's like, that's okay. So that was another cool lesson. And I think the third big lesson is that there is no substitute for actually being with the folks. There's no substitute for seeing people, seeing their faces, reacting to their reactions, giving somebody a hug, seeing somebody who is able, seeing somebody that you saw online that you think and I kept joking with everybody. I said, yeah, you thought I'd be taller. No, but it was just that there's no substitute for bonding in person.
I would agree.
So, anyway, those were my big takeaways from the event.
Hey, do you want to hear about the email that I'm answering right now that is like killing the back of my brain because I want to type so bad right now?
Okay.
Sometimes that happens. I get an email and I get an answer idea that it's just like, I got to get it out. Listen how important training for a fitness test can be.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the email I got. Mr. Smith, I have a fitness test that is important that I pass in the next week.
Oh,
I missed my last APFT I took. I missed earning an ROTC scholarship by 10 seconds on the run.
Ooh.
I have a week to retake the test. My ability to stay in college depends on this test. What can I do in 6 days to improve my scores?
Take that test twice a day, every other day for the next 6 days. What?
No. I mean, you're not wrong. You gotta definitely practice it, learn a strategy. But you don't want to be so tired that you're exhausted in 6 days either. So
right.
I have a whole bunch of things that he should do and that he should not do.
Okay.
But that's how important some of these tests are. That you get a lot of people in this what would we call it? Ecosystem.
Ecosystem.
In this ecosystem saying, no, you never want to just train for the test. And I'm always over here saying, BS. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do want to train. There are moments when you need to, to either keep your job, to advance to a new level, to get a special program, or to earn a college scholarship, which is, what, $100,000?
That's a lot of money. Yeah. Even at $100,000, even at a state school.
Yeah. So anyway,
so what are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell him to do?
Practice his pace, because it sounds like once I dug into his question back and forth, he started out too fast, right? Yeah. So I'm going to say practice the pace, muscle memory that pace. It could be a fueling issue as well, so make sure you're well carved, but don't try anything new like pre-workout caffeinated whatever, to
Right.
get you like this.
Eat a banana.
Yeah,
and an
banana,
orange or something.
oranges, whatever you naturally eat. Don't do anything new. And you can test it out during these 6 days and see if it works, when you take your practice tests and things like that. So no, it's going to be a lot of common sense, but I think, written in a way that says, you can do this and, good luck, go crush it. So.
Absolutely. Well, you have to now I want to know how the kid does.
Yeah, I do too. I'm excited to hear about it next week. So maybe next week at this time, I'll have an answer for you.
That'd be great. Let's not forget. Susan, you're always good at remembering stuff. Please remind us. And if the kid doesn't pass and has to drop out of school and go to work for the big box saying those words that create billions in sales of, would you like fries with that, or perhaps a hot apple pie? Just tell us you never heard back from him. I either want to hear that the kid made it or he never responded back. I don't want to hear failure.
Okay.
That's terrible. Susan gave me. I love seeing the postage stamp Susan down at the bottom. I can't believe you're saying this crap, but it's true.
I'm
going to work on it.
I mean,
I'm going to give him good advice. It's, in the end, it's up to him.
This is TV. The real advice is you shouldn't be in this position, kid. You should have been training all summer.
Absolutely. This should not be an issue.
Yeah.
But for some people it is,
Well, in that, you know what? He's getting ready to learn. Well, either way, he's getting ready to learn a life lesson.
That is true.
If it doesn't work out, he doesn't pass, then he's really going to have to start figuring some things out.
Yeah.
Well,
and if he does pass, he needs to stay on top of it.
Well, if he loses that scholarship
too.
Yeah, and depending on how far along he is, he might be going to basic training in a few months to pay back some of that money. So there you go. All right. Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Anyway, I'm sorry to change the topic on you.
No, that's good.
Emails. We talked about it in the Jim and Stu show, where emails are important. Ways to communicate with your customers in a way that goes pretty deep. I mean, that's an indication that there are a lot of people in this predicament.
Yeah.
That can't even might not even qualify for the scholarship in the first place had they not answered their email from me saying this is how you do it. So
yeah. I like how you tried to combine college and scholarship there. It was like coming out as koala-ship.
Yeah. No, I'm all excited. I do much better like this right now. I just need to start typing.
Well, I don't want to hold you up, but I want to bring it full circle.
Yes.
So we talked about big lesson ladders. And this is a great thing to remember on the end of all those emails, especially when we're tired, we're looking at the help desk, we're doing all this stuff. You got to remember that on the other side of that email is a person who's probably stressed out, got things going on in their own life and all kinds of stuff going on. Okay. But on the flip side, when you're the person sending that email, remember it's a person on the receiving end of your email. So it's not the time to be a keyboard commando and flex your web balls. Yeah. All right. You got to remember there's a human on the other side of that. And I've had some conversations with people about stuff they've sent in the help desk when I said, hey, this is Jim Edwards. I'm seeing your ticket and you're talking to my wife, my daughter, or my niece. And I don't appreciate that. And they say, oh, I didn't know it was your wife, your daughter, your niece. And I reply back with, shouldn't matter.
No.
It's one of my team members. And I'm like Papa Bear. So it's both ways. Okay. Yeah. We all got to remember that. Be cognizant that the world's going crazy. That doesn't mean we have to. So anyway, I appreciate you, man. If people want to get in shape, where should they go?
StuSmithFitness.com.
And if you want to
send me an email, I'll answer it.
Until you go to Stu Smith Fits.
Stu@StuSmith.com.
There you go. And if you want to get really good at getting leads, making sales, and building stronger, more profitable relationships, go check out contentmarketingscripts.com. And actually, we're doing a new training next week, and we'll send out an email on that. So we're gonna let everybody know about the new email we're doing, or the new training we're doing next week. Give you all the info on that coming up soon. Keep your eye out. And it won't even be in a signature file. It'll be the focus of the email. So everybody have a great day. Appreciate you. Glad to be back. And we'll talk to you soon. Great job, Stu.
We'll see you, Jim.